I first read Ayana Elizabeth Johnson's Washington Post article about how racism derails efforts to save the planet nearly a week ago, and I've been mulling it over for the past few days and wrote something. Johnson's article was teeming with real words of her experience and weariness, as well as valuable links to other studies and resources. And there are countless ways that the conversation I'm inspired to start by this article could go, but I'll focus on one point Johnson makes early on in the article. So as more and more reports of actions resulting from the Black Lives Matter movement have been coming out, and I've been doing my own research of the history leading up to this current movement, I can say that doing research on history and making efforts to familiarize myself with systemic racism that exists in this country has been quite time-consuming. Yet, living as a person that is targeted by racism, I would imagine, can be considered as life-consuming. Right in the beginning of the article, Johnson quoted the novelist Toni Morrison, and in a 1975 speech, Morrison said, "The very serious function of racism is distraction. It keeps you from doing your work. It keeps you explaining over and over again your reason for being." I get distraught trying to work when things like doing laundry, answering the phone when my mom calls, or even feeding myself demands much of my attention. And from what I've been seeing, racism can be expressed as extreme accusation and demand time-consuming explanation by people of color. So constantly being asked why you are where you are, why you believe what you believe, why your hair looks like how it does, why your history is worthy to be studied, why your art or words matter, and constantly having to defend yourself would make it nearly impossible to get any worthwhile work done. Johnson said herself that she'd love to focus all her time to work on the climate crisis, but because she's human and she is Black, she can't, because ignoring racism won't make it go away. So how can we expect Black Americans to focus on climate when they are at risk in their streets, communities, and even their own homes? Black communities are so consumed with dodging racism that they are using up all of their time and efforts that could be used in other ways, like, say, saving the planet. And I thought that Johnson's words were very impactful and raw and honest. She emphasized that in order for good work to be done to save the planet, we all, especially white people, need to step up to defend our neighbors, especially Black people. Johnson charges us to take active steps to be anti-racist so we can lift each other up and move on to other efforts like saving our shared planet, and I couldn't agree with her more.